We're deep in the heart of conference play, and we got a lot to say.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.
Welcome back to the South End Zone. My name is Tyler, joined as always by my good friend Chad. We have a big week of conference college football, and we're not going to waste any time. Before we get into it, make sure I tell everybody to like, share, comment, subscribe, talk shit, say you love us, say you hate us. I don't care.
Say something.
Say something. We'll take all of it. We really appreciate everybody for swinging by. All the support we've had, it's been great. All the hate, it's also great. We don't really care. Chad, you had the week off this past weekend, so I'm going to let you get into your game first.
Yeah, well, not the way you want to spend your bye week, licking your wounds after a very disappointing loss, a game that you should have won, inability to establish a running game. Nussmeier's, whether it's his health or something else, I can't imagine that it's not his health based on what we've already talked about, what I've shown you. The fact that they've been talking for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so about some torso injury. Now we're finding out it's like an ab strain. Someone's saying it might be like a torn oblique or something. I don't know that it's that bad. If he actually had like a torn oblique that needed surgery, he would not be playing. He would not be out there. This is an injury you're not going to play with. Now, does he have something that's a little tender and maybe he's trying to protect it a little bit, and maybe the week off has given him enough time to get fully healthy, or at least as close to fully healthy, where maybe just like, I don't know, take a cortisone shot or who knows what, some sort of like lidocaine patch or I don't know, something to get through it. I don't know. I would have just gone ahead and sat him against Southeastern and let him get ready for Ole Miss, but they played him against Southeastern, which again tells me like it's not something super serious, but it was something that nagged him enough, and he may have aggravated a little bit. But like everything boils down to like his health, Caden Durham's health, what they're going to do on the offensive line, because there's some injuries there, but there's also some like, I think there may be like some necessary shuffling going on where you may see the beginning, or you may have already seen the beginning of the career of Carius Kern doing much like what Emory Jones did a few years ago, getting his first start and then just never relinquishing the starting job. 5-star true freshman, just huge, like just a mauler, he handled his job fairly well against Ole Miss, and we'll see. Like, there's the one good thing about having a bye week after a loss. It sucks to have to spend 2 weeks talking about a loss, hearing about a loss, thinking about a loss, versus coming back from a bye where you're coming off of a win, but you have some time to clean some stuff up. You still do get to clean some stuff up. The tenor around the team is probably not as nice as it would have been had they won, but there's a lot of time to actually clean some things up. Favored by 10 and over under in the 40s. I think there's a very decent chance this thing goes over that number. I think that South Carolina has enough live weapons that they might be able to do a little bit here and there, put up a couple touchdowns or so. And I think this is the chance for LSU to take the top off and finally start doing some things offensively. But yeah, how is that O-line going to perform? How healthy is Caden Durham? Is he ready to go 100%? And is Nussmeier going to be back and 100% healthy? All of last week, Michael Van Buren took all of the first team reps. And there was some speculation, are they going to mix him in, get some packages? Is he a threat to possibly start? And that was very much pushed to the side, where I think that the realistic deal is that this is just them doing what they said, getting Nussmeier some rest that he needed, so that injury could calm down a little bit, let the inflammation die down, and then get him back to where, with that rest, he has a chance to go in with a full week of practice this week, or even if he only practices a couple of days, but get him to the point where he can finally like torque and launch and like let the ball fly downfield, because too many weapons, too much speed on the outside on this roster to be a dink and dunk offense with a guy who has an arm the caliber of Nussmeier's. So that's kind of where it all like begins and ends for me. You still have to contain Lenora Sellers. You can't let him have a breakout game. There's a lot of this stuff where it's really easy for us to completely forget everything that we were talking about the whole offseason and then just look at their record and look at some of their losses and look at their performance in those losses and even in some of their wins and just say, oh, yeah, write them off. LSU by 10, LSU by 1,000,000, better win this one by 3 touchdowns or something's wrong. Like, no, this is a legit live team that was this close to making the playoffs last year. Lost a lot of talent, but still has a lot of talent coming back. Nick Harbor's still there. You still have Attaway, and you've got some dudes running the ball
face on
with Lenora Sellers. Like you've got a quarterback that is a weapon. So and Shane Beamer is going to come out. There's going to be some little tricks there. You're going to have to play tight on special teams because that's another thing he loves to sneak up on you with, just the same as his dad. And so yeah, it's going to be a live game, and I'm looking forward to it. Where I think there's some opportunities for exploiting some weaknesses. Neither team really runs the ball very well. They have the capability, but they just haven't done it yet. The South Carolina's got the 120th best run offense in the country. LSU's at 114, but LSU has the number 12 rush defense, and South Carolina is somewhere in the 80s. So there's an opportunity for LSU to get its running game going in this game if they are willing to commit to it. The other thing I see is South Carolina's passing offense is somewhere in the 70s. LSU's in the they're right around the same 68 and 72, right around the same range. And you go to LSU's pass defense, and they've only been 70th. I think those numbers belie a little bit of how good this back end is. A lot of what you even saw, like DJ Lagway put up 270 yards or so passing against LSU. He also threw 5 picks. So there's like this give and take of sometimes they will allow you to have some stuff underneath and you can put up numbers, but at the end of the day, the secondary is going to get it done. And that D-line is going to be hopefully all over him. I just hope they do a better job, unlike what they did against Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, of actually containing him in the pocket and forcing him to throw from the pocket rather than rushing too far upfield, letting him cut underneath. And now you're behind him, so he's not focused on you anymore, and he can look downfield. If you keep the pass rush in front of the quarterback, he's got to keep his eyes half focused downfield, but also he's paying attention to the trash around his feet. So
I also think that the South Carolina DBs can be exposed like pretty easy. I shouldn't say easily, but I think that if you could get Nussmeier comfortable and able to throw the ball, I think your receivers can do work on the outside, if I'm being completely honest with you. But like you said, and I agree, I think that, no offense, Chad, I think -10 is outrageous. Like, I don't think that, like I think it's more like, South Carolina's kind of falling flat, like, for sure.
Yeah.
But your LSU's wins, you haven't dominated anybody.
No.
So I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying, like, this game is going to be a lot closer than
it stands to reason that it should be a tighter margin than that. Yes.
And I think, like, you're right. If Lenora Sellers decides to show up in the way that we know he can, this game is absolutely a dogfight, and I think it's going to be a great game. But I think, like, getting Nussmeier going, trust your damn run game too, because you guys have the dudes to take care of it. It just is. I don't know. It's just like weird. You guys are not running the ball in the spots you need to run it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you take advantage of the plays on the outside, and you guys can cook.
I
That's
think
kinda
it's
where I'm at.
a chance for like a Caden Durham and Harlem Berry breakout
Right.
if they commit to it. And then you have the ability with that to maybe even use a little play action and give Nussmeyer a little bit more help to to step into some throws because it's been a lot of drop eight and the other thing is too, if teams are going to continue to do that, take advantage of it. Like, okay, you want to drop eight? All right, draw play. Okay, QB draw. Okay, dump off. Like, we're going to do some things that are going to force you to come up, and then we're going to go over the top of you instead of throwing into that 8-man coverage. So,
Yeah, dude. I
yeah.
mean, I like it. We'll see it. I think we have quite a deal here. We're going down to, does that say number 1? Oh, it should say number 10. That's weird how it says 1.
It clipped somehow. Yeah, it is
Oh,
not
it's
number 1, Georgia.
no, we
It
are
should be
number 10.
10.
I said, if only we were number 1. Anyway, we find ourselves going to Jordan Hare on a Saturday night, and we all know what that means for any team, let alone us, the Deep South's oldest rivalry. And kind of how I see this game and what scares me about this game is, I don't know if you've noticed this, Chad. We have had a shocking lack of pass rush that we are known for. In like this Kirby Smart era in the last couple of years, we don't have like the Jalen Walker. We don't have the Jalen Carter, the Jordan Davis, the Trayvon Walker, we just don't have that right now. And it's just very apparent. Like especially against Alabama and even against Kentucky, we killed them. But we will flush guys out of the pocket and we just can't get to them. Like they are able to step out and as they're kind of running away, still get a pass off.
Yeah,
And
getting home is the big
we have
issue.
not
Yeah.
gotten home to pretty much any of the teams we have played. And my thing is that with Jackson Arnold, if we flush him out, we know exactly what he's going to do. We got to make sure that we have somebody on him. We cannot let him out of our sight for even a second. And then they have weapons like Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, guys they brought in to make this team.
Yeah.
Preseason, this team was like, holy shit, they have so many dudes.
Yeah.
Like they're 3-2. With that loss to a good Oklahoma team, they kind of got okey doked by the refs. Not kind of, they did. They got screwed.
Yeah.
But what it is, what it is. I think we need to then on the offensive side of the ball, we did a decent job of mixing up looks against Kentucky. I think we need to lean on Chauncey Bowens. I think Bowens needs to be the feature back again because he will fight for every yard until you get him down, and he's going to extend plays for us, which we need so desperately. I think we need to involve the weapons we have. We have not gone to the tight ends like at all this year, and I really it's been very sporadic. Like there's a reason we had Brock. What we did with Brock Bowers, what we did. Like when Bowers left, we said, okay, we have Oscar Delp now, and we really haven't given him an opportunity, in my opinion. We have Lawson Lucky, we have Elias Williams, we have guys, and we talk about the receivers that we have. We need to really just start getting the ball downfield more. You have Colby Young, you have London Humphries, Noah Thomas, you have Zach Branch, you have all of these weapons that we chose to bring in, and the fact that we're going to go run up the middle screen pass is fucking ridiculous. Apologize for being so angry about it sometimes, but it just pisses me off, Chad, with the ability, like what we have the ability to do, and then not doing is what angers me so much.
Yeah,
so
well, you got your work cut out for you because
we do.
Auburn comes in with the number 15 rush defense in the country.
Yep.
And I think where this thing comes down for me is their strength is also their running game with Jackson Arnold in the read option, and having the ability for him to keep the ball and beat you with his legs, but then also to use his legs to get you to bite and give that ball off to the running back.
We got to stay disciplined. We got to maintain our rush lanes and stay disciplined, or we're going to get screwed.
Yeah, they're a pretty good run team. You guys have a really good run defense. They have a really good run defense, and you guys run the ball really well. So who can actually establish that? And I think traditional running game, you guys have the advantage there. And Stockton can do his own thing.
Yeah, we need to get that read option going, man.
Yeah,
that is what's going to be our like. We really need to
Jackson
do that.
Arnold and his ability to run that effectively could be the difference in the game. If you guys can slow him down and not allow him to get going in the read option game, then it's going to be a long day for them, because I think as good as they are on the perimeter with those receivers, with Coleman and Singleton, and Arnold's ability to get them the ball, they are the number 116 pass offense in the country. So very inconsistent. And I think also you when you recognize, like, okay, well, they played Baylor. Baylor has shown that they can't stop anybody.
Can't stop a nosebleed.
And right. And so, and then they played Oklahoma, played them really well, and probably should have beaten them, and got hosed on that that fake out call on the sideline where the kid he definitely should have been flagged for illegal participation, because he was running off and then he just stopped and then took off to the end zone and scored a touchdown. And I think their ability to actually consistently get the ball downfield to those receivers against your secondary, and if your pass rush can, and I don't even say that they necessarily have to get home, but can they just disrupt Jackson Arnold enough where he becomes a little skittish back there?
We can't just flush him out, like, because
Right.
we got Ty Simpson out of the pocket playing, and he still found guys downfield. Even Cutter Boley of Kentucky at times had looks.
Yeah.
It's just that the Kentucky receivers couldn't get as open as the Alabama receivers did.
Mhm.
And Auburn has dudes, and that's the thing. It's like if Arnold is still comfortable outside the pocket, then we
Right.
have to get home. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
And I would even say, like, less so about getting home, but again, if you can stay in front of him
Yes.
and continue to pressure him in his face to where he can't get outside it, because the one thing you don't want to do is try to get home and you run by him, and now he's free to run underneath you. He's still behind the line of scrimmage, and he's got 25 yards of grass in front of him, or he's got a receiver over the top. And either way, you're screwed because you're giving up a big play. That's what you want to avoid. And that's what, honestly, that's what every time that you watch one of these quarterbacks who's mobile and can do things with their legs and can also get the ball, going downfield and has talented receivers, is you've got to run your pass rush in such a way that you contain and keep him in the pocket, keep him in front of you, and then start to collapse the pocket around him. What you don't want to do is over pursue, take bad angles, and then give him space to run around and find guys, because it just extends the play and it makes it that much harder. You can't guard people for that long, especially not guys on the level of Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton.
No, I agree. We have to be discipline is the name of the game when we are defending, because if we give him time, we have no chance. If we give him a chance to think, I shouldn't say we have no chance, but it's going to be really difficult. I think that we can get ours on offense. That part I'm not so highly concerned about. If we call the game that we can and we use the weapons we have, I'm not highly concerned. It's about having to erase what they can do on their side. That's kind of
this 3.5 point spread, though, says that the powers that be recognize that this is not going to be an easy task for you. They're basically giving you about a 6-point edge here in this game, within a score, and giving Auburn the 3 points for home field advantage to make it 3.5. So it's right there, right for the pick. And you guys got to go take care of business. It's another Saturday in the SEC. Anything can happen,
man. Saturday night in Jordan Hare, brother. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And what sucks is this next game we're about to talk about is probably not going to live up to the marquee matchup that it was going to be before. But I'll let you talk about that then.
Texas is reeling. They haven't, if you really look at it, they haven't looked good yet. I talked about this, and nobody wanted to listen to me, but this is a team. Arch Manning went 13 for 27 against UTEP for 120 yards. As impressive as it seemed to be, let's be real at this point right now. What's a more impressive opening weekend win? Ohio State beating Texas at home, now that we know what we know about Texas, or LSU beating Clemson at Clemson, now that we know what we know about Clemson.
So true.
Neither one of them is all that impressive,
No.
but I would argue that, hey, look, at least Clemson beat the brakes off of North Carolina.
North Carolina's terrible, Chad. Don't. I'm no offense.
I know they're terrible.
You
I know
can't
they're
use
terrible.
that. They're so bad.
I know they're terrible, but Texas has played a couple of terrible teams too, and has done about as well. And
North Carolina sucks.
They're very bad. I agree. Their defense is atrocious, which is funny because how is Bill Belichick managing to be that bad?
Okay, but before we get back to Texas, North
yes,
Carolina
we get back to Texas,
pregame,
yes.
pregame, they were interviewing him. Game day was like, yeah, this week in practice, we've just been focusing on the fundamentals, like passing, catching, tackling, the important stuff. I'm like, that's just all of football. We're trying to be good at football. Okay, anyway, back to Texas.
Yes. Texas, Steve Sarkisian. They should also probably practice blocking, tackling, passing, catching, all these things because they have had their struggles as well. And this weekend, going down to the swamp, DJ Lagway and Billy Napier, Sunbelt Billy and company, gave them all they could handle and then some. The only thing Texas has going for them going into this game is that, the game's in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl, so it's a neutral site, and it's pretty neutral for these two teams. Dallas is not super close to Austin. It's farther than that from Norman, but it's a pretty neutral game. And Oklahoma is coming into it without John Mateer. So all signs point to John Mateer is not playing in this game.
Yeah.
And Michael Hawkins played really well, but consider the competition. They're playing Kent State. So he hung, big numbers on Kent State, and congratulations for that. But that won't mean anything going up against this Texas defense, because for all we want to say, it's funny to kind of dance on the grave of Texas right now while they are in trouble. They still have the 10th best run defense in the country, the 31st best pass defense in the country. They've got dudes on defense.
Their defense is nice. There was never
legit.
a doubt preseason. One of the biggest talking points was how good their defense was.
Right.
Simmons, and then that was never the issue, which is their ability to put points on the board when it matters.
Right. So I look at this game and I'm looking at no Mateer for Oklahoma, with Hawkins coming into play.
Give me the under in this game, bro. Holy shit.
That's exactly where I was going. I was like, give me the under. 42.5 is too much. This is going to be 17-13 or something.
Yeah.
I could totally see it 16-10, something like that. It's going to be disgusting.
Regardless, both teams have a great defense. Yes. So it's just nobody's just going to score.
Oklahoma has the number 2 rush defense and the number 5 pass defense.
Yeah, and
Texas can't do either of those things right now. Texas is okay. They're a kind of a middling rushing impact. They're pretty balanced, but it's the way that it looks when you watch them play. It's just man, if they're not playing San Diego State or UTEP or somebody like that, it's not pretty.
Dude, yeah, all you fans who wanted to take Quinn Ewers out for Arch, here we are. This is what we have.
Yeah. And look, he did his thing when he was called on to run his little mixed packages and stuff like that last year. But when it's all on him, it just ain't there. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why he's struggling as much as he is. I do think there's something mechanically wrong with his throwing motion, everything. He comes sidearm, 3/4, and he seems to be throwing the ball off of a weird platform a lot of times too.
Yeah.
And so his delivery and his accuracy is very inconsistent. But it is what it is. This is Texas, Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry. And it's funny because you look at the teams that were supposed to be the top of the league, and all of a sudden now we've got at the top of the league, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. And where's Georgia? Where's Texas? Where's LSU? Where's Alabama? They're all behind.
Cannibalizing ourselves. That's what's happening in the SEC this year, bro.
Well, some of us are cannibalizing ourselves. Texas lost out of conference and Alabama lost out of conference.
This is true.
So Alabama actually is still undefeated in the SEC.
This is true.
And we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, it's been a crazy stretch. Speaking of, we'll see how long that lasts.
You've used my segues. You love my segues.
Alabama goes into
Ooh, boy.
good old Columbus.
Ooh, Alabama's
Columbia.
waiting for the picking in an 11 a.m. noon game. Just saying, this is even more of the most upset spot when it comes to Alabama football.
Yes.
Is especially 11 a.m. their time, noon Eastern. Like, dude, Mizzou is so live, and my biggest regret is Chad can confirm, but I have nowhere else to prove it in the public eye that I've been supportive of Bo Prabula since before the season started, dude.
We can probably go back and find a clip from an episode last year where you were pumping him
well,
up.
when he saved their ass when they played Wisconsin.
That's
When
right.
when he saved Penn State's ass when they played Wisconsin at Wisconsin, he
Yeah.
saved them. But dude, Mizzou, Ahmad Hardy, disgusting. 730 yards, 7.1 average, 9 touchdowns. And they also have the other running back tandem of Jamal Roberts, 357.3 average and 3 touchdowns. And you have Prabula, 7.9%, 1,203 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. We can forgive that, and 121 rush yards and 3 touchdowns. They are so unbelievably live. To me, it's a matter of can Mizzou's defense do enough to get Ty Simpson rattled.
So here's the thing. So we talk about that Missouri offense and everything, and yes, I get it. Do you know who has the number 1 rush defense in the country?
Is it Mizzou?
It is Missouri.
Mm.
Do you know who has the number 10 pass defense in the country?
Is their defense that nasty?
Their defense is nasty.
I feel like I knew they were good. Like when they were able to take Jalen Daniels' lunch, I had a feeling they were. I didn't realize they were that good statistically. Though.
So,
holy shit,
do you know who has the 70th best run defense in the country?
Alabama.
Do you know who has the number 1 best rushing offense in the country?
Alabama. Oh, Mizzou.
Missouri.
Mizzou's rushing offense is Ahmad Hardy is gross.
Bro, listen,
They're so live.
I'm here to tell you,
so
like,
live.
it is so live. It's not even funny. I am like so here for it. I cannot wait to see where did my stat stuff go? Oh, it's on this tab. Sorry. Yeah, so let's go back to it. Let's see. Here we are. Pardon me, the internet just wanted to be stupid for a second. Missouri is averaging 310 yards per game on the ground as a team. Number 1 in the country. Now, it doesn't matter what their passing offense is because who cares? They have the ability to run the ball down Alabama's throat. They also have the number 1 run defense, giving up an average of 39.5 yards per game on the ground. 39.5 on the ground per game. Now, what did I say? Alabama was 70th. 155 a game on the ground for Alabama. This is the thing. This is what we talked about. Like, there's a cultural difference, and you guys ran for 225 on Alabama. Like, the teams that can run the ball. This is the thing that concerns me a little bit about, because remember we talked about how it's kind of like the NFL now in college, where it's about matchups and how well you match up with somebody.
Yeah.
And if you don't match up well, it doesn't matter if you might even be a better team overall. If you match up poorly in an area where they're great, they can just exploit that, and then you're going to really struggle. So Alabama's struggles in the run game on defense. Well, LSU is going to have to throw the ball. Well, Alabama's a great pass defense. So in this game, I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, Missouri struggles to throw the ball a little bit, but they're not that bad. Like, Prabula has had some games.
Yeah, dude.
You mentioned the numbers.
Got them back into Kansas, dude.
You mentioned the numbers. He's there. He's got it. And so Alabama giving up 155 on the ground, and it's the movable or the whatever, the irresistible force and the movable object. Like can Alabama stop Missouri from just running it down their throat? And will they be able to do enough defensively to make it to where they're not having to play from behind, because that's the one thing you don't want to do is give Alabama a possession or two where you let them get a lead, and then now you have to feel like you need to throw the ball more. Hopefully, Eli Drinkwitz can do his thing and continue to commit to it regardless of the score, and continue to pound the ball and make Alabama pay for not being able to stop people on the ground. But they do have the weapons to be able to get it done on the outside too, throwing the ball. But it's going to come down to, can Missouri's pass defense, which, yes, is top 10 in the country. Alabama's number 3, giving up an average of 130 yards per game in the air. Missouri's only given up 158.5. So, man, like you said, Missouri is live as hell. And this is another one where it's only
Missouri's
a 3-point
beating
margin.
Alabama this weekend.
Yep.
I'm saying it out loud right now. Missouri is beating Alabama this weekend.
Shit. Okay. Put it on the board.
I'm calling it. I haven't called my shots enough, Chad. I'm like,
yeah. Hey, I'm here for it, buddy. I'm here for it.
Missouri is beating Alabama this weekend.
Okay. All right.
That's how I feel. And if the Gumps want to come shit talk me after it doesn't happen, that's fine. I can live with it. Y'all do it anyway. I don't care. Yes, you beat us. I couldn't give 2 shits at this point.
Right.
I'm over it. We're moving on. Missouri's beating Alabama this weekend.
I'm here for it. So, and what we're also witnessing is I still see like this. There's this piece of the Alabama thing. I wanted to talk to you about this because, as difficult as it was to suffer through what happened last week, right? I have to be honest. The difference between every other, like last year, I felt like it was like 2 teams going toe to toe, is like 2 top 5 teams, and they just got the best of y'all in Tuscaloosa. And so it's just like, all right, man.
Too big of a lead.
You spotted them a huge lead. You came back and you still almost beat them. You took the lead and then like coughed it up again.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, right? As much as people can say, Kirby has an Alabama problem, and I'm not saying that that's not true, but similar to like Ryan Day has a Michigan problem. Does that mean that last year's Michigan win against Ohio State was not an upset? No, it was definitely an upset. Nobody would sit here and say, I think Michigan's the better team.
Exactly.
Right? I think we have entered into a territory where, set aside the fact that Alabama's record is what it is, like they got their asses handed to them by a Florida State team that got their ass handed to them by Miami this weekend. Okay? And yeah, they beat you guys in what I would characterize as an upset last weekend. Now it's possible maybe you guys aren't as good as we've thought, and that maybe they're like you're carrying through like the Georgia pedigree from winning back-to-back natties and all that stuff. Okay, whatever, maybe. But I think that you have the better overall team, and that they just got you. It was an upset. I think that we're in a place now where I would not be surprised at all if this is still an Alabama program that, as the season progresses, you see them cough up another 2 games, maybe 3. They still have the Iron Bowl. They still have to play Oklahoma again. They got to play us. They got this one. And let's say they get to the SEC championship with one, they only lose one of those games. You're saying they're going to win the SEC championship? I doubt it. But anyway, we'll see. I have my serious doubts about how consistently they're going to be able to put forth the effort that they put forth against you guys and in this revenge game against Vanderbilt. Because I promise you, they're looking at the way they beat the brakes off of Missouri last year after losing to Vanderbilt, and this is a very easy one for them to overlook. And I have not seen yet the culture from Kalen DeBoer that suggests that he's not capable of just like coughing a game or two up here and there.
And dude,
It ain't Nick Saban anymore.
Mizzou and Drink, they believe in themselves, and so,
Yep.
and I'm telling you, these 11 a.m. noon Eastern games are where Alabama's most likely to call fees up. So give me Missouri Tigers. They're winning this game.
There you go. All right, so
An interesting
a little
one
later in the day.
to decide essentially where the Big Ten stands. This is literally the litmus test of the entire Big Ten, notwithstanding obviously outside of Ohio State.
Yeah, well, but you got Ohio State going against Illinois. So if Illinois beats Ohio State and then Oregon beats Indiana,
I don't know what we have going on.
Yeah, then Oregon has to be by far the best team in the Big Ten.
Dude,
if it goes the other way, then we're like it's in chaos. And
what I love a lot about this game is the coaching matchup where you have Dan Lanning, fuck everybody else Lanning, against, oh, please don't hurt me, I'm a nice guy, Curt Cignetti. Google me.
Right.
You know, I'll play tough until the tough actually happens. Curt Cignetti. However, Indiana has an offense to absolutely run with Oregon.
Yeah.
You know, Mendoza, 73%, 1208 so far, 16 touchdowns and a pick. Omar Cooper, one of the top receivers, 23 receptions, 432 yards, 6 touchdowns. Elijah Surratt, 30 receptions, 388, 6 touchdowns. And as far as the run game is concerned, they have a stable of running backs. They seem to, kind of spread the ball around in the run game pretty effectively. And on the Oregon side of the ball, you got Dante Moore, who's at 12-10 at this point in the season, 14 touchdowns, only 1 pick, 74.6% completion. And you obviously have all those weapons, the Corian Moore, Kenyon Sadiq. They have weapons abound on the Oregon side of the ball, and it's in Eugene, which is a big deal when you talk about Indiana in this game. So if Indiana and Curt Cignetti can go on the road in Eugene and steal one from Oregon, this would be one of the biggest wins in the history of their school, and that's not even a joke. That's where we're sitting at right now.
The matchup. I think as much as Mendoza is a good story and everything. The matchup for me, I think, is can Indiana go in there and establish a running game, take the crowd out of it a little bit in Eugene, because they've got a really good run game, number 5 in the country, averaging, 280, 260 a game on the ground. And Oregon is kind of middle of the pack, stopping the run. They're solid, but not anything gangbusters, giving up 130 a game on the ground. So, somewhere in the middle, if Indiana can go out there and, run the ball 30, 40 times for, 160, 180, then you could have, first of all, you shorten the game a little bit for Dante Moore and those guys to do their thing on the Oregon side of the ball. But also you take that crowd out of it a little bit, you take a little pressure off of Mendoza. Now, when he's making throws, it's to attack instead of trying to convert 3rd and long. And, on the flip side of things, Indiana's got a really stout run defense, and Oregon's got a pretty good rushing offense as well. But I mean, hell, Indiana's only giving up, let's see, what do I have? Do I have that right? Number 21. Yeah. They're giving up 100 yards a game on the ground in total. And Oregon is running the ball for, where is it? 236. So that, to me, it kind of goes back to the same thing. Like, who can go out there and establish their running game and pick up chunks of yards when they need them, and get those short yardage, extend drives, those kinds of things. Set yourself up in 3rd and short instead of 3rd and long, and make it manageable for your quarterback. Because both of these quarterbacks, as productive as they have been up to this point, I think this is a great opportunity for both of those guys to kind of step into the next phase of like legit stepping onto the scene, because Indiana got that big win against Illinois where they blew them out. Oregon got the big win on the road at Penn State. Now that doesn't look so great. So what does it really mean? Well, these guys get to go head to head now, and may the best man win.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Like I feel about this game, I should say, is like I don't really have an answer as far as who's going to win this game. I really don't have one way or the other, but it's going to tell us a lot about these two teams, and that's what's so exciting about it. You say, you know what? We actually have a collision course between what are supposed to be two of the best teams in the Big Ten. Let's see who comes out. That's what this is, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity for Indiana to have a game like this,
Right.
as well as Oregon.
My first impulse was Oregon's going to beat the brakes off of them, and then I started digging into it a little bit more, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like,
Indiana's offense is very
Indiana might
dynamic.
be live. Yeah, Indiana might be live.
It's about stopping Oregon is going to be the thing for Indiana. That's
absolutely
where it's going to come
well,
around.
and that's why I say, like, if they can run the ball too, then it also makes it to where stopping Oregon doesn't have to happen as much.
Yes.
Because the more you fail to run the ball, the more you're putting your defense back out on the field, and you can eat up some clock and keep your defense fresh and also give Oregon fewer opportunities, fewer possessions to actually go out and put up big numbers. So I think that's what it all comes down to. Now, on the flip side of things, the Ohio State Buckeyes go to Illinois. They go to Champaign and try to get it done. Big favorites, and I think this is warranted because I have not been impressed by Illinois at all. And so, I mean, what do you think with this one?
Illinois has Luke Altmaier has, I guess, by a statistic, the most game-winning drives of any college football quarterback career-wise in the country. We see, and I give Illinois a lot of credit for getting their ass beat by Indiana and then being able to take care of USC. And USC's offense is pretty damn solid. Like they have Maava, they have Lemon, they have guys out there. They have Lincoln Riley still as the coach. So you grit one out and you have your fans still behind you. And so if you're Bielema and you're Luke Altmaier, you have to at least believe in yourself to be in this game. And this is probably one of Ohio State's I don't know what you want to call it their best tests, but like they at least need to take care of Illinois here. They need honestly, if you're Ohio State, you're going to want to run it up, just like Indiana did. Because then you can almost make the quote-unquote comparisons. Well, Ohio State scored this many, and Indiana scored this many. I mean, this is Ohio State going to Champaign, and I'm sure Champagne's going to have that place rock, and I'm sure this is probably going to be the big noon kickoff if I had to take a wild guess. Or whatever, CBS, whatever. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I feel this game is probably going to be chalk, and Ohio State's going to beat them. But Illinois – I would love to see them make it interesting. I just don't. It just seems like a lot for them to overcome. And Ohio State's defense is so nasty. I don't know if Illinois is going to be able to establish much of anything on the offensive side.
It's the Ohio State defense. It's Caleb Downs. It's the Styles. Is the Styles times
gonna
two.
Fuck Luke Altmaier's day up.
Yeah, it's the Matthews kid on the outside too.
Yeah.
Like they've just got so many dudes, and then like that's not even talking about their front seven who like. It's just they just kind of reload those guys on the front seven, and Matt Patricia's doing his thing, and you see it like the numbers bear it out. Number 16 against the run in the country, number 4 against the pass in the country. Good luck, Luke Altmaier. Good luck, Hank Beatty. Good luck, guys, trying to put up numbers against this defense because I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. We've talked about so many of these teams. Whether they're playing, at home against a higher ranked team, or in some cases they're playing on the road, but it looks like one of those games that's a little bit evenly matched. I do not think Illinois is live for this game.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
I think Illinois is dead on arrival.
Picking underdogs, but you can sign, still deliver that shit, brother.
Yeah.
Ohio State is taking
DOA. And if Ohio State loses this game somehow,
oh god,
there's some serious questions we got to ask about like what's going on. I'm gonna have to see. I would have to see the autopsy of what happened in a game where Ohio State loses
what
this
happened
game
here
before I can even start talking about what it means because I can't fathom how that happens.
No, Ohio
So,
State is going to keep doing their thing until
Mhm.
Michigan. Let's be for
Yeah.
real.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yep. So we had a couple other games that I thought were pretty interesting that are maybe a little less on the radar. One of those is South Florida and North Texas, big Group of 5 matchup. And I know like this, we don't normally talk about this stuff that much, but like one of these Group of 5 teams is getting into the playoff.
Yep.
It is going to happen. So who it is can be at least of some interest to us, right? South Florida, their only loss, now granted, they got their ass handed to them by Miami, but now that doesn't look so embarrassing. And when you're talking about comparing them to the other Group of 5 schools, and maybe even some of the Power 4 schools that, you haven't played Miami yet. We don't know how bad you would lose if you played Miami, So who are you to talk shit to South Florida for getting beat up by them? Byron Brown is legit,
Dog.
and he's a dog. Yep. And they got the Franklin kid who's also legit, but like North Texas has some live cards as well.
Tell me about it, Chad.
This Drew Mestemaker kid, their quarterback, is actually like he's getting it done. He's putting up numbers. Dude has a 68% completion percentage, 1247, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks, only been sacked 5 times. Now, you could say that's a product of his offensive line protecting him well, but also he has run the ball 22 times for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. You take the sack yardage out of there, and it's more like he's run the ball 17 times for over 100 yards. So he's got a nice little clip of, running the ball effectively. Not a huge, dual threat, but he's mobile enough and agile enough to get it done. But then I dig in a little more to like the team numbers, and South Florida is actually like pretty solid. They're top 40 on offense, both passing and running the ball. And North Texas struggles against the run. So I would look for South Florida to most likely get the ball going on the ground with Sam Franklin. And the other thing that's crazy about this game is where they kind of match up, where one team's strength is the other team's weakness, is South Florida. Byron Brown is the number 1 rusher on this team from the quarterback position.
Yep.
But then they have like 4 other dudes with over 100 yards rushing on the year.
That's a good. We've talked about that before, like with comes like Vanderbilt, not to that extent, but like if you have a stable, that's huge.
Yeah,
Especially
they spread the ball
football.
around. So then we talked about Mestemaker, and he's out there throwing the ball around. So I told you he's thrown for 1,250 and 11 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah.
He has 0 receivers with 220 or more yards.
Oh, damn.
It is like, what does he have? 8 different receivers with 100 yards.
Damn.
And the touchdowns
Spread
are kind of
the
spread
love.
around. He's got one guy with 3 touchdowns. And Wyatt Young has 215, 13 catches for 215 and 3 touchdowns. And then the other guy, Miles Coleman, has 23 catches for 219, but he has no touchdowns. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Miles Coleman is their number 1 receiver, and he has 219 receiving yards.
Wow.
But then their number 8 receiver has 105 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's a very balanced, spread the ball around offense through the air. And South Florida is kind of the opposite of that, where they have 5 different dudes who run the ball effectively. And that's going to be one of South Florida's things that they're going to have to attack. That run defense of North Texas, 124th in the country, damn near dead last in the country. But then you flip it to the other side, and what Mestemaker and North Texas do well, spreading the ball around, fits right into what South Florida struggles with. They're the 90th best pass defense in the country. So it is like strength on weakness, and we'll just see where the cards fall.
And that
But
is why.
Yeah, South Florida at 4-1 and North Texas at 5-0. This could be a game that determines who gets into the playoff and who doesn't.
And that is exactly why the over-under 67.
67 and a half. Yes. And I'm telling you, like, I would be very tempted to take that over. And I would actually lay the points. I would give me South Florida because I always tend to lean towards the team that can run the ball against the team that can't stop the run, because you're going to have a hard time keeping them off the field. Like if I can keep converting on 3rd and 3 by running the ball down your throat, I'm going to stay on the field and I'm going to keep putting points on the board, and we're going to have a better chance of converting in the red zone because we can actually run the ball effectively.
And I like South Florida a lot. I mean, I like their culture. Like they have
Mhm.
they've all bought in. They've all been like, most of them have been there since the start. Like they have Nimrod, who's the transfer from Tennessee, who's also been a huge piece for that offense as well. But yeah, give me South Florida here. I think that they could take care of. I mean, there's a reason that the margins are so thin, is because it's just going to be like, who has the ball last?
Yep.
Probably. So you could easily see North Texas taking it here. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great game no matter what. And it's that, like you said, these are kind of your potential participants from the group of 5 for the playoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one that is a little more high profile that we haven't talked about yet.
Mm-hmm.
The Gators, after that euphoric win against Texas in the Swamp, are they going for the Texas twosome?
Dude, am I crazy?
Are they going to win the Texas State Championship from the state of Florida when they can't win the Florida State Championship?
Dog, am I crazy to say that I think that like it had a little bit more to say about Texas playing Florida? I mean, yeah, Florida played well. They have weapons, no doubt. But like, I don't know if they can contain Texas A&M's offense. Like, I just have this going to be. I have a weird feeling that Texas A&M is now going to be the worst thing that could happen for Florida, in the sense of attempting to win this game, is beating Texas, because you beat Texas A&M's rival. Texas A&M saw you before that game. It's they're going to be 1-3, possibly 1-4. Well, now they just beat Texas in their house, and now they're coming to you. Now Texas A&M is prepared. I just don't think that you're going to surprise Texas A&M. And this, to me, is not the letdown spot for Texas A&M. I think that Texas A&M might still win this game.
A little pushback. I don't disagree with you. I think that it sets up very well for, Florida is not sneaking under the radar going into College Station in this game because of what they did last week. Texas A&M is legit, and they're going to be. They're playing at home at Kyle Field. It's the likelihood that they're going to slip up here is less than somewhere else down the road. However, what I will say is, I think that the best thing that could happen for Florida to win this game, given what was happening going into the game in the Swamp against Texas last week, the best thing that could have happened to Florida was for them to dominate that game the way that they dominated that game, and then to believe in themselves, to begin to believe in themselves, and to start to actually go out there with that energy and that intensity to prove everyone wrong again, and to just go and punch Texas A&M in the mouth in their own building and see what happens. And that, in a sense, I think maybe Texas A&M might still be looking at it as, oh yeah, we got this. Like now, Texas can't even beat us. We're gonna run roughshod through the SEC. I don't know. Like I'm telling you, Texas A&M, until you prove otherwise, you will always be Texas 8-4, because you have shown that you cannot do it. You cannot handle success. When you have success, you find a way to squander it. And so I'm just here waiting for that to happen. And I would not be surprised at all if you're, number 30 pass defense. Now, Texas A&M is really good. They're like top 30 in every category. Stopping the run, running the ball, stopping the pass, throwing the ball. They're really good all the way around. But what Florida does really well is they stop the run, and their defense can do enough against your passing game to they've had multiple games where they sack 5-6 guys or get 5-6 sacks. They sacked us 7 times last year when we had like 3 sacks all year going into that game. Billy Napier and that defense, those dudes on that defensive line, create ways to plug holes and to get after your quarterback. And their secondary is good enough that if you make a mistake, they're going to make you pay for it. You saw it. Even Carson Beck saw it. He threw a pick against Florida and kept Florida in that game. It's just a not so fast, my friend, is all it is. Like I'm with you, and I 9 times out of 10 I say, yeah, this is Texas A&M walking away, but I feel like there's something starting to brew with Florida, and what we haven't even talked about yet is like, what if DJ Lagway actually has like a breakout game?
It's all he.
You know what I'm saying?
Has all the tools physically,
Mm-hmm.
and he has the talent to do that. It just hasn't really got put all together yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
it's at night at Kyle Field though, so it's gonna be tough.
Right, and that 7.5, like I wouldn't be shocked if Florida found it covered. Like I really wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I'm gonna lean. Not gonna
A&M
put my cards
finds a way.
in that A&M will find a way in the end because of the talent. Now, Marcel Reed is throwing a 59% clip, which is not super spectacular.
Yep.
Still 1,256 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 picks. So if the Florida defense can get busy, you might have something there. But they also can lean on Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens, and I will keep singing the praises.
That's Florida's strength, though. Florida's strength is
no doubt
stuffing the run.
No doubt. And then if that becomes a problem, then you go to the weapons on the outside of Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion. Craver 557 and 4 tuds. Concepcion 401 and 5 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Marcel Reed kind of in a bind, he has places to go. So I if this game was in the swamp, I'm thinking about this a whole different way.
Right.
But Kyle Field at night bodes well for the Aggies, no doubt.
So Florida would be going for winning the Texas State Championship, except that they would have to also beat Texas Tech, who might be the best team in Texas right now. And they got Kansas, the Jayhawks, coming into Lubbock. So what do you think about this one? What do you see as these two teams clash with one of the best defenses in the country?
You have Kansas. You have Jalen Daniels, the ever-present Jalen Daniels, 67.3%, 1497, 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And he has his weapon on the outside, Emmanuel Henderson, transfer from Alabama, 488 and 4 touchdowns. And then you have the running back, LaShawn Williams, 50 carries, 303 and 5 touchdowns. However, you have to play Texas Tech. And I think that it doesn't really matter what I have to say about the other team at this point. Like, Baron Morton, 69.3%, 14-10, 12 tuds, and 3 interceptions. Cameron Dickey, 330 yards, 5.3 average, 6 touchdowns. And as far as the receiving core, they have 5 people with over 200 yards receiving, and 2 of those with 300 plus. Texas Tech is just a wagon. That's like there's nowhere else, no way else to put it. Texas Tech runs away with it. However,
they've also picked off 8 passes this year.
Let me back it up. And Jalen Daniels is known to turn the ball over.
Yep.
There came a point in the Big 12 season last year where we thought the writing was on the wall, and Kansas State started picking off teams left and right, and it made way for Arizona State to be the team in the Big 12 championship. However, I still think that Texas Tech is that much better than the rest of the conference. Until proven otherwise, one of our favorite things to say here at the South End Zone. Give me the Red Raiders.
I'm with you. Yeah, I would even say they cover. Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Would not be shocked. I took them to cover against Houston last week, and there was no problem there.
Yeah. So our last game to cover this week is this little doozy between Michigan and USC. And I'm told that, this is going to be tough because Michigan has to go on the road to the West Coast. I think it's going to be tough for different reasons. I actually think USC's got a little something here.
They're favored on the line here.
And yeah, they've got some offense, and it's going to be, a question of whether Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes can overcome the Jaden Mayava and Makai Lemon, like that. It's just this little dueling duos, and Michigan running the ball really well. SC runs the ball pretty well too. They're both like in the top 20 in the country running the ball. It's just that USC is number 3 in the country throwing the ball, with the aforementioned Jaden Mayaba just lighting it up so far this year to the tune of a 70% completion rate, almost 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, only 1 pick. And, a lot of that stuff, like we said, he does have 4 rushing touchdowns as well. So let's not forget about that part. Not very easy to bring down either. Only 3 sacks on the year allowed by the USC O-line and Mr. Mayaba himself. But yeah, Makai Lemon, 589 and 5 touchdowns already through only 5 games, averaging over 100 yards and a tud every game, and also averaging like 7 catches.
There's a lot of hype around him for the next level.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of. There's a lot of. He's going to be a good player in the NFL. That's what we know about him.
So yeah, it's going to be about whether or not Michigan's defense can actually handle that, because they've got a really good run defense, number 8 in the country, but their pass defense is kind of middle of the pack, and this is a really potent passing offense. On the flip side of things, though, SC is solid against the run, and I think that what you've seen is Michigan has this commitment to the running game that allows Justice Haynes to, every single game, he'll have like 13 carries for 32 yards and then 1 for like 60.
Yep. He's a big game breaker, man. He's a big playmaker, dude.
And it's possible he could bust off more than just 1 in this game.
Yep.
Because I don't think this – it's funny too, because one of our good friends said that Oklahoma had 0 run defense. And Oklahoma is the number 2 run defense in the country right now. So I don't know what 0 equals, but I don't think it's number 2 in the country. But Michigan faced them and struggled to run the ball outside of the 1 busted run by Justice Haynes. They struggled to run the ball a little bit against Wisconsin early, who has a really good run defense, no pass defense, but they can stop the run. But then eventually he busted through that wall too and started churning up yards. So I could see Michigan actually, the best way you can take an opposing crowd on the road out of a game is establish the run and just start punching your opponent in the mouth and deflate the crowd that way. And I see Michigan just riding it. Bryce Underwood's going to have to turn into a little bit of a ball caddy this weekend for Michigan. Yep. It's done. Because I don't think you want to give Jaden Mayava and that offense enough possessions to possibly hit on 5 or 6 of them. You want to give them 5 or 6 possessions in the game, so that if you could get them to go 3 and out a couple of times, the best they can do is maybe, hang 25, 28 on you.
Yeah, I think you got to let Bryce Underwood, at least let him make a couple of the important throws when you need him to. But yeah, I think it's going to lie on the run game. And then, yeah, you got to keep a USC offense off the field, or at least limit their time possession, because Lincoln Riley is going to get points.
That's right.
The more you let him put that team out there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Michigan travels out west, and USC's favored. All I say is we'll have to see what this is going to tell us at least a little bit more about both of these teams. That's all I can say.
I'm leaning like, give me Michigan plus the 2.5. I'm staying away from that over under, because I could see this being a Michigan takes the air out of the ball, and their defense is good enough to get enough turnovers or stops to keep it in the low 20s to low 30s, and then that's when you end up there, that's where you're looking at, instead of 57.5, you're in the 47.5. It's 28-20 or something like that. So
yeah, I don't hate it. I think, like you said, Michigan's going to win. They're going to have to take the air out of the ball, because you let USC get rolling, you're not going to be able to keep up. Michigan doesn't have the offense to keep up with Michigan does not have the offense to keep up with a rolling USC offense. They have to control the line of scrimmage, and they have to be very deliberate with moving the ball up the field. That is for sure.
Yep.
And I believe that's the last one we got for the folks, if I'm not mistaken there, Mr. Chad.
Yes, indeed. It
All
is.
right. Well, we appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. As always, this has been the South End Zone for me and for Chad.
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers, go Dogs, baby. We'll need it. Big weekend. Conference
That's right.
play rolls on. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen. Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.